All right, so today we're going to talk about a little bit of interviewing process when you go to these companies. So starting with, I believe American and United both have a pre-test that you have to go through in order to get a chance to be interviewed by them. But the interviewing process, it can be intricate, but for the most part, it's a lot of questions to understand your knowledge, to understand what kind of employee you're going to be. Questions I've come across were things like identifying resistors and capacitors, things on the schematic. I've come across uh, what did you like? What didn't you like about aviation? I'll see. Let me ask you a couple of things. What do you remember from some interviews you've been to?
Well, first, yeah, I remember questions, but I had to research the company, research the position, see what are the requirements for the position before you go in there, so you can't get blindsided. Learn, know all your measuring tools, know your basic knowledge. I had on interviews, I had situations where I come in, they say, "Well, take off this alternator and put it back on. We'll give you 20 minutes." And they give you the instructions, the tools, and you got to just perform. You don't perform in a certain amount of time, you don't pass. They won't hire you. So always prepare yourself. Or if you know somebody that work at the company, always get with them and get ahead of the game and get all the knowledge you can about the company. What's the interview going to entail? Right,
Yeah.
go.
So other things I've come across in some of the interviews I've had are they've asked me to use a multimeter. They asked me to find resistance to explain, if I get a reading of this, what exactly that means. And things like that take time to get used to. I recommend you master your tools because you're going to get asked in the interview process. The good thing is that once you make it past the interview process, most, if not all the time, you will get a lot of support from the company you're working with. So have you come across these kinds of things or
Yeah. Basically, a lot of times when I first got in the game, I lucked up. They just asked me some personal questions. Next thing I know, I was working on the equipment. They trained me and I learned, learned how to track and rig blades. But once you get in there, oh, this is the main thing I say. If you're new to aviation and the company hires you, don't expect to get a big salary off and you're just a new person. You get your aviation license, it's just a license to learn. You went to school for somebody else to train you. It's a license to learn your job. Then you learn your job, get about 2, 3 years experience. Then you have something to stand on and negotiate with because you have a little knowledge. So right now, if you're new to the game, hey, get into that first place, get that experience. SkyWest, go there and get the experience. And what they got to let you learn. SkyWest will let you in before you get your license. You know, so get into one of them programs, learn and learn the engine and get your experience, learn about turbines, how they operate, and then you have a leg to stand on when you get another job. Get that experience first for all the new people. Don't cry about it, learn it.
so some pitfalls I've come across, and I've made some of these mistakes myself. Go into a new job cockily, like you know what you're talking about, and like you've been at this for 50, 60 years. No, bad idea. You go in, you be humble, you find good leadership, you find good people who are willing to help you understand the systems, because when you are a mechanic, there are two separate systems that you're interacting with. There is the mechanic responsibilities and duties themselves, and then there's the corporate side of it. As a general rule, I try to stay away from the corporate side of it, but you have to be able to navigate that and go in humbly because everybody thinks they know until their back is against the wall.
Always stay humble. remember, always leave room for criticism and learn, because lives are still lives are still at stake. So take your time, learn the job, make sure you do the job correctly once you get in.
My one last thing I would recommend that you um, first try to get any job you can in the beginning. The salary is not as important as getting the experience. However, you can save yourself a lot of headaches by normally at the end of an interview, you're going to be asked, so do you have any questions? I normally ask, yes, I say, is this a place worth working at? And you pay attention to your interviewer. Because if your interviewer looks a little peculiar, or looks a little weirded out by the question, you know that if you go to that company, you're likely to come across drama. And you decide right then and there, honestly for yourself, is this what I want to do? Or at least am I willing to deal with what looks like drama ahead?
And one more thing, sometimes the most paid job is not the best job. Sometimes the benefits outweigh the pay. So before you accept the job, look at the benefits in the long time, which you can get over time from this company.
Yep. Take every opportunity to learn too. Make sure you
Yeah,
get everything you can from the company because the company's going to try to get everything they can from you.
yes. So always look at your benefits too. Uh-oh. So we're gonna wrap it up now.
Yeah.
Hey, good luck out there finding a job, okay?
Yes, sir.
There you go.